Hi, and welcome back to On the Sofa with Sophia. Sophia Hastini here. Um, so one of the things I was discussing in the prior segment is the fact that I am now at the LGBT Leadership Conference, and this is the first major meeting after we've elected a new president in the years coming. And it's a good opportunity for all these elected officials to come together and move forward going on. So one of the things I am hoping I will be able to do is I'll be able to get somebody and we'll have a quick interview with them to see what their experiences and thoughts about the conference are, either today or tomorrow, and at that point I'll just add that as another segment to the show. So other than that, there's not much other news except there's some exciting segments that are coming up. Yesterday we got to hear, during the opening plenary session, we heard from 5 gay ambassadors to the country who had been appointed anywhere from the Reagan administration all the way through the Obama administration, and got to hear about their experiences around the world and how their courage in just living themselves actually enabled and bettered the communities in which they are serving. After that particular session, we then had essentially we had our opening reception after that plenary session, and we were honored by having the Secretary of the Department of Labor and the Secretary of HUD come and address us for a while and talk about, how much progress and how they've gone forward and how much they really thank the LGBT community for being there, being willing to step up and help those departments to make them more welcoming, more inclusive going forward. And I am hoping that we can continue to have leadership that inspires other people. Before I came to the conference yesterday, because the conference for me didn't start about 2 o'clock, I actually took the time to do something that I didn't get around to doing 2 years ago when I was here in Washington, D.C., and that was actually to just get out, explore the town, and it was definitely an experience for me. I mean, for the last few days and on my trip up here, I was reading about the history of Washington, D.C., so I could better appreciate it once I got here. I mean, I actually picked up the book looking for ideas like, where do I want to go? And, and I read about the memorial to the signers of the Declaration of Independence. And by the time I finally got out, I realized what I really wanted to do, my main focus was to go to the Lincoln Memorial. I wanted to go to the place where one of the people I identify with most in history, that had some of the strongest moral fortitude, moral courage to be willing to stand up and fight for what he knew was right, no matter what people thought about him, and lost his life because of it. And he did it even suffering through one of the worst trials and tribulations in our country, when we lost hundreds of thousands of people who were killing each other in this country, and that was Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, who ran multiple times before he got elected to office, because he knew he had to make a difference. He had to run, he had to serve the people, and he had to make a difference. And at one of the trainings that I went to, they talk about your internal board of directors. I'd like to think that Abraham Lincoln is on my internal board of directors. And, of course, also Martin Luther King Jr. and a few, Audre Lorde. A few other people are on my internal board of directors, basically, helping me guide and figure out what I want to do. These are the role models for me. So I basically, my apartment, the place that I'm staying in. I took the Airbnb route to check it out. So I got in the day before last. Got to meet a wonderful host. I mean, obviously I checked out the recommendations before I went in. And I'm staying off of the area just between Woodley Park and DuPont Circle. Just like a 10-minute stay from the hotel. And I got out yesterday, and it was good to be in a completely walkable community, to walk from those apartments to the metro station, to ride the metro station to the Metro Central station, which was like in the old downtown historical area. I stepped off the rail. I came up. They have these huge escalators. I came up the escalators, and I walked out into the sunlight, and there was a homeless man selling the newspaper. And because I know that money is going to support the homeless population in the area and help them with their services and their needs, I mean, I of course, bought the newspaper and gave him a little bit extra. And he was trying to give me guidance on how to get to where I wanted to go. So then I went down 12th Avenue. As I'm going down 12th Avenue, I was really appreciative for what I had read about the history of Washington, D.C., because I found myself in the Federal Triangle. And of course I had to stop, and I had to take a few pictures and really appreciate the Work Powers Administration, the work that Franklin Delano Roosevelt had done in helping get people back to work. There are a ton of huge old federal buildings in that area, including the Department of the Interior, the Pan America building, the building of the Americas. I walked past, came down to Constitution Avenue, and on my way to the Lincoln Memorial, I passed the Smithsonian Institution, the new Black and the African American Cultural Center that's newly built. I passed Carnegie Mellon Hall on the right, Washington Monument on my left, and all of a sudden I noticed this trail out to a little small island, and I realized this must be the Constitution Park that I heard about. So naturally I stepped off into that park. From there I could see the Lincoln Memorial at a distance, and I just basically enjoyed being able to reflect as I walked through that area, all these wonderful things. It is, as I came out of Constitution Park, I came across the World War II Memorial with the names of all the battleships and the states that were, sent troops over to fight. I then came out of that. Of course, I'd passed the Washington Monument coming in. One of these days I'm going to go back to the Washington Monument and experience that, the Smithsonian as well. But I came out of that, and I found the reflecting pool, and I was able to just walk the distance of the reflecting pool and mount those stairs up to the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, and to find myself, face to face, and the man was a giant. I mean, not literally a giant, but he was absolutely a giant. And I just made that pledge to myself. It's like, may I be able to be this person of moral courage, and moral fortitude that he is and that he was. So I made that trip. I continued my walk back. I came back through Constitution Park. As I came out, I found the new addition to the Vietnam Memorial dedicated to the black soldiers. And then I looked up and I said, no, it can't be. and of course it was the Vietnam Wall Memorial, dedicated to all the people that lost their lives in the Vietnam War, in the order that they received the news, or were missing in action and never returned. So I just paused, reflected on that. My father was a Vietnam War veteran. I know he lost some of his friends. Of course, I wouldn't have known their names. He's not alive today. Otherwise, I'd be calling him and say, "Dad, you got those names for me?" And as I came back up, and I came up, I believe, 17th Avenue, and on 17th Avenue, going back to the Farragut station, I came across a building with a red cross on it. This building is in memory to the brave women of the Civil War. And I think it's important that we remember that gender hasn't really made a difference when it comes to courage in this country. We've had leaders, women leaders, as well as men leaders, and the Red Cross and that memorial exemplifies that. So from that point on, I just made my way up to the Farragut North Station and came up to DuPont Circle, and I walked up to the hotel, and here I am today. So I am looking forward to a wonderful conference today. There we are going to have a breakfast plenary with the Secretary of the Army, General Fanning, Eric Fanning, who's going to probably talk about how the integration of LGBT people in the military is going, and the struggles that we've had to overcome there and may still be working with. Then I'm going to go to a topic on transgender elected officials, because we still don't have a lot of transgender representation in elected office, and so that is one population that is essentially underserved. So I'm going to be going to that topic. There's going to be another topic that I'm going to go to on immigration and LGBT issues, and there was one other topic that's on my schedule but just doesn't come to mind right now. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I am looking forward to the wonderful rest of the conference up here in Washington, D.C. before I head back. And hopefully I'll be able to sit down, and if we get a chance, I'll interview somebody, and we'll have another segment for you to watch this time as a special documentary. So until then, I hope you have a great rest of your week and wonderful weekend, and take care. Thanks. Bye.